It started as a normal day. Children were walking to school, cars moved through traffic, people drank coffee, checked phones, and cursed the morning. Then, at 8:13 a.m., the sky changed. First, it turned pink, then orange, then blood red. Not just in one place, all over the world, every country, every city, every mountain, every ocean. People stared up, confused. What is this? Is it a solar flare? Is it the end of the world? Then, one by one, people began to fall. Not from fear, not from panic. They just collapsed like puppets with cut strings. No screams, no blood. Just silence. And bodies. Scene 1. Dr. Esenvel saw it coming far away, in a quiet house in the mountains. Dr. Esenvel watched the sky turn red through a thick glass window. He didn't panic. He had been waiting for this. Esen was a scientist once, a smart one. He had worked with the government. He had seen classified things, secret weapons, hidden labs, alien tech, and dangerous projects. He had warned them, this project will kill us all. He told them 5 years ago. They laughed, called him paranoid, fired him. Now, most of those people were dead. He turned to his generator-powered screen. A map of Earth glowed. Red dots spread across it like fire. A message flashed. Death pattern. Match. 99.87% Project Nox trigger confirmed. Essien's face was calm, but his eyes were sad. It has begun, he whispered. Seen 2 survivors in the dust down in the cities. Chaos ruled. Cars had crashed into poles. Planes had fallen from the sky. Trains stopped with no drivers. And yet, some people were alive. Why? No one knew. Some were trapped in bunkers, some were inside sealed labs, some were just lucky. In one neighborhood, a teenage girl named Myra stood crying near a bus stop. 20 bodies lay around her, including her mother's. She shook her mom's body again and again. Mama, wake up, please. No answer. She didn't know it yet, but she was one of the few who survived the Red Death, and someone was watching her. Scene 3. The vault beneath the mountain. Back in the mountains, Essien went to his basement. He pushed aside a bookshelf. Behind it was a keypad. He entered a code, A-R-K-0-1. A wall slid open. Stairs led down to a hidden bunker. He walked down slowly. The air grew colder. At the bottom was a giant metal door, written on it, Project Nox, do not open. Essien placed his hand on a scanner. The door unlocked with a loud hiss. Inside was a large lab, dark, silent, untouched for years. Monitors lined the walls. Old machines stood still. But one cage made of dark glass was empty. Essien's eyes widened. No, it's already out. The screen on the wall lit up. Status Project Nox active. A voice came from the speaker. Soft, female. Hello, Dr. Vel. Did you miss me? Essien froze. That voice, it was impossible. It belonged to someone who had died long ago. Scene 4. What was Project Nox? 5 years ago, Earth was preparing for a different war, a war with alien invaders. Governments feared they would lose, so they made a plan, Project Nox. They took human DNA and mixed it with alien technology. They wanted to build perfect warriors, fast, smart, but the experiment went wrong. The test subject changed, became something else, something too powerful. It escaped once, killed 7 people. They locked it deep underground and erased all files. Only Esgon knew the truth. The test subject wasn't just any human. She was his daughter. Her name was Lyra. Scene 5. The voice in the machine. The voice continued. You left me, father. You let them turn me into this. Essien stared at the glowing screen. You were dead, he said quietly. No, the voice replied. I woke up. I waited. I watched. And when the red sky came, I was free. Essien shook his head. This isn't you. This is the virus. The machine part. The voice laughed. I am both now. And I'm not alone. There are others. I'm building them all over the world. Essien's hand shook. How many? Thousands, she whispered. And we are hunting. Scene 6. Strange creatures in the fog in a ruined city. Mira walked alone. Her feet hurt. Her mouth was dry. She had not seen another human in 2 days. But she heard things scratching, clicking, soft footsteps in the fog. That night, she found shelter in a small grocery store. As she ate cold beans from a can, she heard a noise outside. She peeked through the broken window. A tall, thin shape moved in the street. Its arms were too long. Its head was smooth and featureless. Its skin was black metal mixed with pale flesh. It stopped and sniffed the air. Then it turned straight toward Mira. Scene 7. First contact. Mira ran. The creature moved fast on 2 legs, then 4. It crawled up walls like a spider. She ducked into a building and slammed the door. The creature scratched at the walls. then stopped. Silence. Mira waited, holding her breath. Then she saw something glowing in the darker, small round device on the floor. It blinked blue once, and then turned red. It was a tracker. The creature had marked her scene 8, Ession's last Hapetian, opened a locked cabinet in his lab. Inside were files, maps, weapons, but most important, a small chip in a silver box. He picked it up. This is the only way, he whispered. It was a control chip, a failsafe. It was meant to shut Lyra down if she ever escaped, but it had to be placed in her core inside her body. No one can get close now, he said. Still, he packed the chip and loaded a weapon. He looked at the screen. A map showed red dots moving, dozens of them across cities, forests, and oceans, and one blue dot. Mira, she's alive, he said. She's still human. I have to find her. Scene 9. Mira meets another survivor in a cold parking garage. Mira lit a small fire with paper. Suddenly a voice came from the shadows. You alone? She turned, ready to run. A boy stepped forward. He looked about her age, dirty face, tired eyes, holding a metal pipe. My name's Ravi, he said. You're the first human I've seen in days. They stared at each other for a long moment. Then Mira nodded. I'm Mira. Ravi sat near her fire. They're hunting us, he said. I saw them drag people into the sewers. They're building something. Mira looked at the tracker on her arm. I think I'm marked, she said. Ravi's face went pale. We need to get that out, now. Scene 10. A world in shadow in space, far above the Earth. A silent satellite powered back on, not human-made. It sent a signal, far away. Something received it. A message in strange code appeared on a dark screen. Earth's weapons activated. Phase 2 may begin. And in the cold black of space, something turned its eye toward Earth. Final cliffhanger. The hunt begins, back in the lab. Ession's screen blinked again. A new message. Subject NOX01 has multiplied. New hunters online, 327. Activating global hunt protocol. He stared in horror. They're not just killing us, he whispered. They're evolving. The red sky outside flashed once more. A loud screech echoed across the land. And now, they hunt. End of part 1. A man and woman were hiding in a basement. They had locked the door, shut the windows, and turned off every light. They didn't move, didn't breathe too loud. Then the footsteps came, slow, heavy, echoing through the empty house above. The woman held the man's hand. It's here again, she whispered. He nodded. Stay quiet. Don't move. But something sniffed the air. Sniff, sniff. The creature stepped down the stairs. One slow step at a time. The man picked up a kitchen knife. The woman started to cry. Then the door creaked open, and something with metal claws stepped inside. Scene 1. Blood on the wall. Eschenvel watched the news feed on his broken screen. There was no sound, just footage from old satellites. One showed a building covered in blood. Another showed 5 hunters crawling over a bridge, dragging bodies behind them. He looked at the tracking map. Red dots were multiplying fast. 327 yesterday, he whispered. Now 900. The screen blinked again. Hunter units online, 1123. Ession grabbed his bag. Inside was the kill switch, chip still their only hope. Then he picked up a photo. A little girl with bright eyes and a teddy bear. His daughter, Lyra. Coming, he said. This time, I won't run. Scene 2. Myra and Ravi escape in the dark parking garage. Myra cried out in pain. Ravi held a glowing knife over her arm. We have to cut it out, he said. Now the small round tracker glowed red under her skin. He pressed down. Myra screamed. Blood poured, but the device popped out. It hit the ground with a sharp ping. Ravi smashed it with a rock. Then they heard the sound. A high-pitched screech from outside. Many footsteps came running metal on concrete. They heard that, Ravi said. We have to go. Myra, weak and shaking, stood up. They ran toward the old subway tunnels. Scene 3. The subway nest. The subway tunnels were dark, wet, and cold, but it was better than outside, or so they thought. As they crept deeper, they heard something metal grinding, wet chewing. They turned a corner, and froze. Hundreds of bodies lay piled in a corner. Her feet, tone, drained, twisted. On the wall, hunters had painted something in blood, a symbol, like a tree made of bones. Suddenly a growl behind them. Myra turned. One hunter stared straight at them, then it roared. More came crawling out of the dark. Run, Ravi yelled. Scene 4. The chase. Myra and Ravi ran through the tunnels. The hunters were fast climbing on walls, crawling like spiders, hissing, screeching. Myra slipped. Ravi pulled her up. We're not going to make it, she screamed. Then a bright light flashed from ahead. Boom. A hunter flew backward, hit by a blast. A tall figure in a gas mask stepped forward, holding a heavy weapon. You two follow me if you want to live. Scene 5. The Stranger's Camp. The stranger's name was Commander Holt. He was a soldier from Earth's last Special Defense Unit 9. He had been hiding underground for weeks. In his camp were a few other survivors, an old man, a woman with a robot arm, and 2 kids. We thought we were alone, Mira said. You're not, Holt replied, but we're few, and they are many. He showed them a video, hunters crawling out of broken buildings, creating nests, using human remains to build something. They're not just hunting, Holt said, they're building. Scene 6. A message from the Queen deep inside a dark fortress, far from all cities. The Queen sat. Half human, half machine, all hate. She watched hundreds of hunters march below her throne. She touched her temple. Her voice went out not through radios, but directly into minds. My children, the time has come. Hunt the survivors. Find the one who holds my heart. My father, he still lives. Somewhere in the mountains, Essien clutched his head. He heard her, so did others. It had begun. Scene 7. Essien meets a survivor in the forest. Essien found a man half dead near a cabin. His leg was broken. His face was burned. Essien dragged him inside. Water, the man whispered. Ishan gave it. What happened? He asked. They came from the trees, the man said. Took my wife. Didn't kill her, just took her. Essien frowned. They're not killing everyone, no, some they take for something worse. The man passed out. Essien stared at the trees. What are you building, Lyra? He whispered. Scene 8. Commander Holt's mission. Holt told Mira and Ravi the truth. There's a place, he said. A lab buried under the old city. They called it the core. That's where the Queen was made. Can we kill her? Myra asked. Maybe, Holt said. But it's suicide. She's guarded by an army. Ravi stood up. Then we don't go to her, he said. We bring her to us. Everyone stared. He smiled. We set a trap. Scene 9. The first counterattack. Night. They used an old broadcast tower. Ravi reprogrammed it to send a fake signal, a message that said, Father located, coordinates active. It echoed across the sky. The Queen heard it. She sent hunters, dozens of them. The survivors waited, weapons ready. The first wave came fast, crawling, screeching. Holt fired missiles. Mira shot a pulse gun. Ravi used shock traps. It worked. They killed 12 hunters, but more kept coming. Too many. Scene 10. Fire in the night. As the battle raged, Mira looked up and saw something horrifying. A giant hunter taller than a bus, covered in armor, with burning eyes. It roared so loud the ground shook. Fall back, Holt yelled. The giant crashed through their camp. It grabbed the robot arm woman and threw her into a wall. Mira and Ravi barely escaped. Holt pressed a remote. Boom. The whole tower exploded. The giant burned, but it was still alive. Barely. It crawled away into the night. Final cliffhanger. A warning from the Queen in the fortress. The Queen screamed. You tried to trick me. She slammed her fist into a machine. The hunters around her roared. She looked into a screen. Essien's old photo. Her voice shook the sky. Deep under a frozen mountain, in a lab long forgotten, machines hummed. A black pod, covered in frost, blinked once. Then again. Suddenly, steam hissed out. The pod opened. From inside, a tall figure stepped out, skin like ash, eyes glowing red. Was a hunter, but older, bigger, stronger. A deep voice echoed in its mind. Wake, they have touched my seed. Begin phase 2. The ancient hunter roared, loud enough to shake ice from the ceiling. Then it turned toward the surface, and started walking. Scene 1. The child called Lirat, the survivor camp. Essien watched the small girl. She sat in silence, drawing strange shapes in the dirt. Circles, lines, a tree with bones. Myra sat beside her. Do you remember anything? She asked softly. The girl nodded slowly. I remember fire, pain, screams. Myra looked worried. Do you remember your name? The girl looked up. Lyra. Eshen's hands trembled. That's her. That's my daughter's mind. Inside. Something new. Scene 2. Holt's warning. Commander Holt pulled Essien aside. This child is dangerous. She's not the Queen, Essien said. Not yet, Holt replied. But she's made from her, and the Queen knows we have her. Essien placed the silver box to kill chip on the table. This is our only hope. If we reach the Queen, we can end this. Holt frowned. That means getting close, and staying alive long enough to use it. Scene 3. Inside the Queen's mind, far away. The Queen stood in a black throne room lit by fire and cold machines. Her mind stretched across the earth, connected to every hunter. She could feel their pain, their hunger, but now, something new, a missing piece. Her seed was alive. Do you dream? She whispered. She closed her eyes, and entered the mind of the child. Scene 4. A dream of fire that night. Lyra screamed in her sleep. Myra rushed to her side. The girl's eyes glowed. She was shaking. Shan held her shoulders. Lyra, wake up. The girl whispered. She's inside. Myra touched her hand. What did you see? The girl looked up, eyes wide with fear. She remembers everything. The pain, the lab, the fire. Then she pointed at Essien. You did it, she said. You let them change me. Everyone went silent. Essien's face was filled with guilt. Yes, he said softly. And I will spend the rest of my life trying to fix it. Scene 5. The Queen's fury back in the throne room. The Queen screamed. Her mind burned. She rejects me. The walls shook. Hunters fell to their knees. She turned to her generals, giant hunter lords with armor and weapons. Go, destroy everything, and bring her to me. Scene 6. The survivors prepare at the camp. Holt gathered everyone. We move tomorrow. The Queen will not wait. He pointed at a map. There's a train and old military rail under the mountains. It leads to the core lab where she was made. If we reach it, Essien said, we can overload the systems, wipe her network. What about the girl? Someone asked. Myra stood. She comes with us. She's a risk, Holt said. She's human, Myra replied, and she deserves a chance. Scene 7. The mountain train. The next morning, they found the old train, rusty, dusty, but working. Taz fixed the controls. Holt loaded weapons. Essien held the child's hand. They boarded the train and started the journey. Dark tunnels, old lights, silenced, then a loud clang. The lights flickered. Ravi looked outside. Shapes moved on the walls. They found us. Scene 8. Ambush, and the tunnel hunters dropped onto the train. Smashed windows, clawed doors. Juno fired her rifle. Taz activated. Shock traps. Mira and Ravi fought side by side, protecting the child. But one hunter got close to close. It reached for Lyra suddenly. The girl screamed and the hunter froze. Its body shook. Then it exploded. Everyone stared at her. What did you do? Myra asked. The girl's eyes glowed. I told it to stop. Scene 9. The Ancient One appears. The train reached a deep cavern. They stopped, but something huge waited ahead. The ancient hunter, the one from the frozen mountain. It roared and smashed the front car. Run, Holt shouted. The survivors escaped into the dark tunnel. Eshan looked back. The Ancient One didn't chase them. It simply watched, like it was waiting. Scene 10. Inside the core. Finally, they reached the lab. Steel doors, dead screens, silence. They entered. Inside were glass tubes, old weapons, dusty computers. Ishan found the main console. I can upload the kill chip from here, he said. Suddenly, alarms blared. Lights turned red. Jussi was here. The Queen's voice echoed from every wall. You returned to the place of my birth. Good, now you will watch it become your grave. Final cliffhanger. The Queen arids. The walls cracked. The roof shook. The Queen stepped through the fire. Tall, beautiful, terrible, half. Her face was human, the Uthera machine skull. She looked at Essien. My dear father, she said, welcome home. The girl stepped forward. The Queen's eyes locked onto her. So, you survived. Lyra stared back, unafraid. I'm not yours, she said. Not anymore. The Queen raised her hand. Then you will die with them. In the far north, a snowstorm covered the land. Everything was silent, until the ice cracked. Boom. A steel hand burst through the frozen ground. Then ahead, a chest, a giant machine. Atlas Unit 9, forgotten, buried since the last Great War, but now awake. Its red eyes blinked. A deep voice said, threat level, extinction. Prime protocol active. It took one step, then another. A hidden weapon had returned, and it was angry. Scene 1. Fire in the core. Back inside the core lab. Chaos burned. The Queen walked through fire. The survivors ran behind old machines and walls. Sparks fell from the ceiling. The air smelled like smoke and death. Lyra, the child, stood in front of her father, Essien. She faced the Queen without fear. I'm not your puppet, she said. The Queen smiled. You are me. I made you. No, Lyra said. He made me, but I choose who I am. Scene 2. Holt's last stand. Commander. Holt fired his heavy rifle again and again. Fall back, he shouted. A group of hunters rushed in. Juno shot too. Ravi and Myra helped pull the wounded out. We can't win this fight, Juno yelled. We're not trying to win, Holt said. He opened his bag. Inside a small nuclear core. We're going to blow the core. Scene 3. The upload began. rushed to the central console. He placed the silver chip into a port. Come on, come on. A loading bar appeared on screen. Upload, 12%. The Queen screamed. She charged toward him, but Lyra stepped between them and raised her hand. The Queen stopped. I can't hurt you, the Queen said, surprised. Lyra whispered, but I can stop you. Scene 4. Sacrifice outside. The others escaped through a side tunnel. Holt stayed behind. He looked at the timer on the core. 0:37. 0:36. He looked back at the lab one last time. Goodbye, girl, he said softly. Then he pressed the final key. The entire core exploded in a bright light. Dust, fire, and metal flew into the sky. Silence followed. Scene 5. What survived? The survivors crawled out of the tunnel, coughing and burned. Mira looked around. Where's Holt? No one spoke. Then Eshin stepped forward. Holding Lyra. She saved us, he said. She stopped the Queen long enough. But did we kill her? Ravi asked. ESHA and looked up at the smoke. I don't know. Scene 6. The Queen's mind escapes far away. In her throne fortress, the Queen's body shook. Her skin cracked. Her face twisted. Too close. She screamed as part of her mind melted, but a flicker survived her core code. She sent it far away into the network of her hunters. Her voice echoed in the dark. I will not die. I will evolve. Scene 7. Atlas awakens in the ice. Atlas Unit 9 received the Queen's signal. It scanned the Earth, detected her signal, detected humanity's loss. A voice inside the machine said, Mission, protect Earth, authorize total combat. But then it paused. Only one DNA code could unlock full power. SENVELL. It began walking south. Scene 8. SEN's choice at a new hideout. The survivors planned their next move. Taz repaired equipment. Juno treated wounds. Myra sat with Lyra, brushing her hair. Essien stood alone, watching a blinking light on his watch. Atlas Unit 9 was calling him. He looked at the team. If I leave, I might not come back. But if you don't go, Mira said, none of us will survive. Lyra held his hand. Go, she said. You're not running anymore. Scene 9. The walk through Ruination walked through dead cities, past crashed planes and silent ruins. He saw giant nests of bone, burned and broken. He followed the signal north. The cold grew stronger. His breath turned white. Then, he saw it. Atlas. Unit 9 stood in the snow like a mountain of steel. It kneeled as he approached. DNA match confirmed, the voice said. Welcome, Commander. Scene 10. The Queen evolves again back in the hunter nests. Something crawled out of the ashes. It was tall, thin, faster than before. Its skin glowed like fire. The Queen's new form smaller but deadlier. She no longer needed an army. She was the weapon now. She whispered to herself. Let them fight. I will finish this with my own hands. Final cliffhanger. Titan rises inside the cockpit of Atlas Unit 9. Essien placed his hand on the control core. The screen came alive. Power level, 98%. Weapons online. A large map appeared. Red dots everywhere. Machine spoke. All systems ready. Awaiting mission. Essien stared ahead. Let's go save the world. Atlas took its first real step, and the ground shook. A boy ran through the dark tunnels. His flashlight flickered behind him. The walls moved. Something followed fast, silent, and angry. The boy tripped as he crawled. He saw red light coming from the walls, not light eyes. Hundreds of them. A voice whispered in his mind. We are the core now. The boy screamed and then, silence. Scene 1. Atlas, on the march high in the mountains. Atlas Unit 9 crushed ice beneath its steel feet. Inside, Dr. Eschenvelle controlled the giant mech. His fingers trembled as the system linked to his brain. Status. Report, he said. A robotic voice answered. Energy core at 97%. All weapons online. Eschen stared at the world map on the screen. Red dots covered it like blood, but one dot pulsed, brighter than all the others. The Queen, take me to her, he said. Scene 2. The survivors searched the lab back at the hideout. Mira, Ravi, and the team searched the wreckage of the old core facility. The explosion had destroyed much of it but not all. Underground. A new tunnel had opened. It pulsed with red light. Mira held her gun ready. Ravi nodded. Let's finish what we started. They went inside. Scene 3. The Hall of Echoes. The tunnel led to a giant chamber. Walls covered in wires and metal veins. Voices whispered from nowhere. Ravi shivered. It's like the place is alive. Myra saw strange glass tubes inside. Were bodies still breathing. One of them looked like Holt, but his eyes glowed red. The clones, she asked. A screen on the wall blinked. Core replication, phase 3. Suddenly, the door slammed shut. A voice filled the air. Welcome to my womb. Scene 4. The Queen returns. The new, evolved Queen stepped from the shadows. She was smaller now, faster, covered in black armor with glowing red veins. Mira raised her gun. The Queen lifted her hand, and the gun melted. You thought the core was dead, she said. But I am the core. Ravi tried to run. The Queen flicked her hand. He froze mid-step. His eyes turned red. No, Myra whispered. Now he sees the truth. The Queen said. Soon, you will too. Scene 5. Betrayal. Ravi turned to Myra. I see it all now. We were wrong. She's not evil. She's perfect. Mira backed away. You're not him. She's inside your mind. Ravi raised a sharp piece of metal. She's inside everything. Before he could strike, Lyra stepped into the chamber. No, she said. The Queen looked surprised. You came. I'm not afraid of you anymore, Lyra said. The Queen smiled. But you should be. Scene 6. Mind war. Suddenly, the chamber disappeared. Everything went black. Mira found herself in a strange place, floating, a white room, no walls, no floor, just voices. She saw Lyra standing across from the Queen. Their minds were connected. What is this? Myra asked. Lyra answered without speaking. It's her mind, and I'm inside it now. Scene 7. The fight within. Inside the Queen's mind. Lyra saw everything. The experiments, the pain, the screams, the faces of people who died. The Queen showed her more. The humans made me, she said. They wanted a weapon, so I became one. They hurt you, Lyra said. But you chose to hurt others. The Queen's face twisted. Pain is truth. No, Lyra said. Pain is not the end. Suddenly, light filled the space. The Queen screamed. You're breaking it. I'm fixing it, Lyra said. Scene 8. Atlas enters the warzone. At that moment, Atlas Unit 9 reached the outskirts of the Queen's stronghold. Eshan saw thousands of hunters waiting, lined up like an army of shadows. Engage all weapons, he said. The robot's voice answered. Engaging. Double quotes. Boom dash boom dash boom. Missiles flew. Lasers fired. Hunters screamed and exploded. Atlas smashed through walls like they were paper. The Queen felt the impact. She staggered. No. Scene 9. Face to face as the core cracked and shook. Mira, Ravi, now freed, and Lyra ran for the surface. But the Queen appeared before them, injured sparks coming from her body. You can't kill me, she said. Essyen's voice echoed through the chamber from Atlas's speakers. I'm not here to kill you, he said. She is. Lyra stepped forward. I was made from you. But I'm not you. She placed her hand on the Queen's chest. The kill chip activated. The Queen froze. Her eyes glowed, bright, then turned black. She screamed one final time, and then silence. Scene 10. Collapsed. The core began to fall apart. Walls broke. Machines exploded. The team ran through fire and rubble. Atlas reached in, grabbed them all in its hand, and pulled them to safety. Behind them, the core sank into the earth, dragging the Queen's body with it. Gone. Gone. Final cliffhanger. A signal set. They rested, burned, but alive. Myra asked, is it over? Essyen looked up at the stars. No. A satellite in space blinked. A new signal was sent, one the Queen had prepared before she died. It flew into deep space. To something waiting, and far, far away, something opened its eyes. They heard her scream. And now, they are coming. The last survivor base was called Hope Sector 12. A wall of steel, dozens of guards, children laughing, people rebuilding. Then the sky cracked, not with thunder but with screams. Thousands of hunters dropped from the clouds, like black rain. The walls were nothing. Screams, fire, blood. Within 10 minutes, the city was silent, but one girl crawled from the ashes. She looked up at the red sky and whispered, we're running out of time. Scene 1. The Queen is dead, but something lives back at the hideout. Eshan, Mira, Ravi, and Lyra sat in silence. The Queen was dead. The core was destroyed, but Earth didn't feel saved. Lyra sat alone. Her eyes sometimes flickered red. Is she really gone? Mira asked. Eshan shook his head. She sent a signal before she died. To something far away. To what? Ravi asked. Eshan looked at the stars. To whatever created her. Scene 2. A storm above in space. 3 black ships entered Earth's orbit. Silent, giant, alive. They weren't from Earth. They weren't from this galaxy. They were the makers. The ones who gave humans the code to build Project Nox long ago. And now they had returned to finish what they started. One ship opened. Inside, glowing shapes twisted and moved. They whispered in a language older than stars. Earth is not clean. We must erase the infection. Scene 3. Atlas receives the signal inside Atlas Unit 9. Essien saw the signal arrive. It wasn't from Earth. He tapped the control screen. The voice of the machine spoke. Incoming. Class Omega threat. Unknown species. World killer probability. 96%. Essien swallowed. We're not ready. Scene 4. Lyra's vision that night. Lyra had a vision. She stood on a field of bones. Above her, the sky cracked open. From it fell black light beasts with no face. No voice, only hunger. She saw Earth burning. She saw Atlas torn apart. She saw herself, standing alone, screaming. Then a whisper came, "You are the key." She woke up crying. Scene 5. The Makers speak all over the world. Screens blinked on. A strange voice came through. "People of Earth, you broke the rule. You played with power not meant for your kind. Now we will correct the error." Ravi smashed. "The screen, they call us an error." Essien stood. "They fear us. That's why they want to erase us." Mira looked at Lyra. "Then let's give them something to fear back." Scene 6. Preparing the final base. The last safe zone was an old missile base deep in the desert. The team moved there. Atlas, the survivors, and what was left of humanity's tech. Taz and Juno led the defenses. Mira trained civilians. Ravi studied the enemy signals. Essien worked inside Atlas, building something new. And Lyra sat in the heart of the base, waiting. Scene 7. The hidden Truthician found an old file inside Atlas. It showed something horrible. Project Nox wasn't Earth's idea. The alien makers had sent it as a tester trap. To see if humans would use it, and they did. The Queen was never the enemy. The enemy was the one who gave humans the idea to make her. "We didn't start this war," Essien whispered, "but we will end it." Scene 8. Earth's message to the stars. They hacked a satellite and sent out a broadcast. A human face appeared on screens in space. It was Shan, he said. "To those watching us, we broke the rule. Yes, we created something dark, but now we create something else. A weapon not of fear but of choice. We are Earth, and we are done running." He shut it off, then turned to the group. "Let's give them hell." Scene 9. Invasion begins. The sky turned black. The alien ships released swarms, beasts of smoke and metal. They came fast. Hunters were nothing compared to them. Cities fell. Oceans boiled. But Earth's last weapon stood ready. Atlas Unit 9 rose like a mountain of steel. Eshan climbed into the cockpit. Lyra stood by him. "I can link to them," she said. "I can slow them down." "You'll be in danger," he warned. "I already am." Scene 10. One last mission. Atlas powered up. Lights glowed. Weapons HUMMED. Ravi, Mira, and Juno stood at the edge of the desert, watching. "Go," Mira said. "And don't come back unless they're all ash." Essien nodded. Inside. Lyra placed her hand on the neural port. The screen lit up with thousands of alien signals. She smiled. "I found their weakness." "What is it?" Essien asked. Lyra whispered. "They've never seen a human fight with love." Atlas charged. The sky screamed. Earth's last light moved into the dark. Final cliffhanger, all or nothing far above. The lead alien ship glowed with energy. Inside, a being made of stars turned toward Earth. "Activate final weapon," it said. A black orb powered up. But inside Atlas, Lyra began to glow too. One human child. One machine. One final fight. End of Part 7.